What's the tea?
Well, spill it. Here I go.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all already do, but for real, actually comment so I can get the story straight. This beef street started with the whole Tidal situation, okay? In which that's what they're talking about right here. So Jay-Z, Tidal is owned by a Norwegian company, and which is primarily white folk, overseas but white folk, right? And Jay-Z invests $58 million into it, and tells the other investors that he will be able to get the biggest pop stars at the time. Keep in mind, this is early 2010. So I'm going to say 2014-ish, 2014, 2013 maybe. Okay? And he doesn't ask the actual artist to make a financial investment. What he does is he offers them a stake between 1% and 3%. In the case of, okay, so let me say some of the artists. So Beyonce, Rihanna, Kanye West, Madonna, Nicki Minaj, Jason Aldean, J. Cole. I'm saying these so that you guys have an idea of who the artists are and how big they were at the time that this was happening. Okay, so he offers them a stake between 1% to 3% in exchange for them dropping their music exclusively onto Tidal, okay? That ended up being the case. So there was a lot of music at the time we couldn't access. I was in college, so this was very prominent to me. I think that Lemonade was one of the albums that went straight to Tidal. So I had to watch the HBO special in order to access it because I didn't have Tidal. Nicki Minaj and Beyonce put Feeling Myself exclusively on Tidal. And that was one of their biggest music videos and biggest songs. I loved it. I was in a pageant. I won the pageant. If you guys don't know, because y'all be playing on my top, I was a pageant queen in college. That's besides the point. I used that song. So that was a very big song at the time, right? Now, let's back it up. I'm just finding out today that Nicki doesn't own her masters, okay? Young Money owns her masters, and Lil Wayne sold Young Money to a Universal Music Group, right? And they now own her masters. So in terms of getting royalties off of her music, I don't think she's actually getting it. Okay. But that has nothing to do, her owning the master, not owning the masters, has nothing to do with her stake in the company. So they eventually sold Tidal for $600 million total. They sold it piecemeal. So the first sale was 33% of the company for $200 million. So if she's entitled to 1.5% of that, I don't know what the math is. What 200 million? That should be about $3 million she was owed for ownership of the company, her stake in the company that was given to her in exchange for the exclusive content. Has nothing to do with the revenue from streaming. So I think that's where the upset aspect comes from. Now, I don't know if she got paid or not because there's no lawsuit. But a part of me feels like she wasn't paid for two other reasons. So earlier, I named a couple of people. Two of them were Kanye and Rihanna. Kanye has come out and said that he was owed $3 million, okay? $3 million off of the original sale, which would be $200 million, would be equal that 1.5%. Keep in mind, the actual sale of the whole company ended up being $600 million. So I'm not sure what percentage he was given, because if he's owed $3 million, he says it was for promotional. But if he's owed $3 million of the total, he only got about 0.5%. The whole point of Tidal was that if you drop your music with Tidal exclusively, you get a bigger royalty than you would get paid out from Apple Music and from Spotify. Drake was one of the people that they reached out to, which would have been a great financial investment, but he saw the money was not working. And please don't judge me. I feel like it was the Jewish side of him. Good with money and math, okay? I don't know if that's a stereotype. I take that back. But anyway, he saw the deal and was like, no, signed a better deal with Apple. I think it was $200 million to drop his music there. Amazing deal. People over here, Nicki and Kanye West are fighting over $3 million. So Tidal definitely was a ripoff at the end of the day. And another reason I feel like there might be truth to this is something really went down with Rihanna and Jay-Z to where because Anti was exclusively dropped on Tidal. Anti is the last project she put out. And it could be that she's grown into this businesswoman and just forgot about the music. But it's a lot of things that are very suspicious in terms of the relationships that Jay-Z and Beyonce had at that time and that they have now. It's like these very prominent figures, these Kanye and Jay-Z had a whole joint album, and Kanye, granted, he's a wild card. So there are multiple reasons why they could have fallen off. But seeing what I'm seeing now is really crazy. Now, what's making me upset about this situation on Nicki's end is that Nicki is coming out here caping for Lil Wayne, okay? And I understand he put you on, but you've done the same thing for Drake. People who don't reciprocate that, okay? Lil Wayne came out and said that Missy's the best female rapper of all time. And you know what? That's fine. He might actually believe it. A lot of people, agree that Missy's the best of all time. Now, but you're his artist in a sense. And that doesn't mean he had to say that, but Nicki fights these battles for people who don't even fight battles for themselves sometimes. And it just doesn't even make any sense. Or people who wouldn't do the same for her. Now, Jay-Z did pay off a big chunk of Lil Wayne's debt, and they were hanging out just 2 weeks ago. So we can't say that there's a beef between them at all, and the Super Bowl thing has anything to do with this Tidal thing or Rock Nation versus Young Money type situation at all. I do think that this is a very layered thing. Now, what I want to see is somebody get Sue happy. He's rich, okay? Even if y'all have to settle out of court, I feel like Nicki, I don't know if it's a loyalty thing to Beyonce, to where she's deciding, I don't want to come at my man's husband like that. But speaking out against him is already bad enough. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like I said, this is what I've read. This is my understanding. And I'm open to getting the full story. So anybody who knows, just comment below.